it really was Pascal Siakam and Chris Boucher versus the entire Chicago Bulls roster. I wanted to get into a couple Chris Boucher clips, if you don't mind, Oren.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll go on a Siakam rant. But let's do Boucher first.
Okay, so Chris Boucher here. This is just a nice and one. Gets, I don't know what Kobe White's doing. Kobe White just looked frustrated the entire game. I feel like this has been a frustrating season for him.
He hit some big threes, though.
He did.
Big threes.
But he also did lose his starting job this year. The only reason I know that is because I follow a few Chicago Bulls writers on Twitter. Very inefficient season from what I was hearing from Kobe White. I don't know how he's been playing since. I know Satoransky did take his starting role. But again, he was expected to be that young point guard of the future for Chicago, and this was just a play like you don't have to do that on Chris Boucher. When do you ever see Chris Boucher pull up from the mid-range? There's no reason for you to jump, get underneath him, or anything like that. So that was a nice little and one from Chris Boucher there. We saw almost everything from Chris Boucher today.
Yeah, it's something he's added to his game this year is when people run him off the line, he'll get into the mid-range and either pass it to a corner or pull up. So it's definitely a nice tool to have in his toolbox, though it's not too consistent.
Yeah, it is nice. And this was just what we saw from Chris Boucher all game. He had 9 offensive rebounds in this game, or 9.
Wow.
9 offensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds. And this is the type of stuff he was literally doing all game. Patrick Williams loses track of him, just allows him to run by, grab the offensive rebound, and Tice and Vucevic just aren't going to do much because Tice is stuck on the corner and Vucevic contested the first one. So that's honestly on Patrick Williams, at least from what I can see on this play. Just lets Boucher run past him, and Boucher capitalizes. Boucher, great game. Best game of his career, I think. 38, we can say that pretty confidently. 38 and 19, maybe. So I'm proud of him. You can go on your little Pascal Siakam rant, though, now.
No, Boucher was good. I mean, he did bring great energy. And nine offensive rebounds, mostly for putbacks, is kind of what the Raptors have been lacking a lot this season, and something he can do. But yeah, I thought Pascal was really, really good, considering that he had no spacing. Like, they were asking him to play bench units with Utah and Stanley Johnson and Aaron Baines, him and Flynn. And it's like that's 2 shooters, so shooters, and 3 non-shooters. So every time he drove, the lane was clogged. Everyone was helping on him. The Bulls were just clogging up the lane, putting hands in there, trying to get steals and whatever. And he didn't turn the ball over this game. Let's see, he had 2 turnovers.
Only 2, yeah.
And he had 1 assist, but I'm going to play some clips. Like, he had, first of all, a lot of guys were just missing shots that he gave them point blank looks on. And obviously nothing you can do about that. But he had a lot of like hockey assists. So the pass leading to the assist. And this play I really like. This is just a great pass. This is high level playmaking from Siakam. And we're getting more and more used to seeing it from him this season. But in the past, we just didn't. Because he just reads the help really well here. And there's Utah. He could have shot instead. He goes to OG for the corner 3. And obviously that's not an assist for Siakam, but you could basically say it is because everyone is converging on Siakam as he touches the paint here. We'll watch it again.
Chris Boucher sets a little screen. Pascal Siakam goes the other way. Utah, that was quick from Utah. I love that.
So I'm going to just pause it real quick. Here. So yeah, like here you can see Satoransky help off his man way too much. And really he had either option here, OG or Utah.
But
since Utah's man is literally has his back to him, he makes a really good read here. And Satoransky closes out well, but still Utah he could have really shot this, but he just chooses to give it to the better shooter in OG. And then bam. So playmaking, Siakam was doing a ton of that tonight, getting into the paint, passing it out. It was just that the Raptors weren't making shots, or else he would have had a lot more assists.
My question here, Oren.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. No. You can go ahead to the next clip. I was watching Zach LaVine on that play. He looked absolutely lost. He was on Anunoby, then just sunk inside when Pascal drove. He didn't even need to be the help man there. And then once he saw the ball go to Utah, he didn't even close out on Anunoby. It was just a very strange Zach LaVine-esque defensive play.
Yeah, I think they were just so focused on Siakam, though, because he was literally the only one scoring, that they were going to live with anyone else taking shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Siakam ISOing against. I'm frozen here. One second. You hear me?
I can hear you, definitely. It's the clip, I think, that's just loading up really slowly.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is Siakam ISOing against Vucevic. And he does a really good job. So
holy shoot. He absolutely bodied the living hell out of Vucevic. I'm sorry, Vucevic, you are damn near 7 feet 260. There's no way Pascal Siakam should be throwing you around.
This is what I want to talk about, because people were touching on Twitter about Pascal's improved handle, and I think it was clear today that his handle has gotten better as he gets into really tight spaces. But one thing he does really well here, obviously, he does a nice job not settling for the shot. He could have taken 3, but as Vooch closes out, he reads the footwork, and he goes and gets Vooch in a bad position. But one thing any really good player, watch Kawhi Leonard, he's the best at it, does is they make contact as soon as possible. So they'll make contact before they pick up the dribble, then take 2 steps. Siakam never used to do this. He used to usually pick up the dribble, take a step, make contact with his defender, take another step, lay it up, and you get into trouble when you do that. Here, watch how early he makes contact. And what it does is it enables him to switch hands after the contact, whichever way the help is coming from. So obviously in this clip, he goes right. But when he makes contact this early, it enables him to basically go left or right, depending on where the help is coming from. Just switch up the hands, Good stuff from Siakam.
Very good stuff. If there's 2 guys in the league that are the kings of that, contact 2-step, it's Kawhi Leonard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis lowers that shoulder a little bit, and then it just really depends on how you defend him after he lowers that shoulder. If you're still on him, he'll just Euro around you, and if not, it's just a 2-step to the basket. So shout out to Pascal Siakam. He scored in almost every way as well. I think Chris Boucher did. We saw Chris Boucher do some really weird things this game where he was like doing step back mid-ranges, post-ups. It was just a lot of weird stuff that I felt like he was like, you know what? 19 wins, 32 losses. Might as well try some new stuff. Why not?
Yeah. My last point on my Siakam rant is that last game was so weird to me because after the Lakers game, there was like a portion of Raptors fans who were calling for Siakam's head and being like, he put up an empty 27-point game. He has to carry the team. But it's like, if you've been watching this team all season, you know that they're asking too much of him on both ends. And he's struggled on back-to-backs every game. So the Lakers game was actually his best back-to-back, second night of a back-to-back all season. And they didn't win, but like he played pretty well and his teammates didn't play well and they lost. So I was confused about the backlash after he probably had one of his better back-to-backs all season, that they randomly got mad at him. And like, he's really, ever since he came back from COVID, ever since he really got his legs back under him, he's really just gone on a run here. And if he can get the 3-point shot to fall too, he is going to be like really, really elite, like all NBA type player. So it's a couple ifs for sure. I mean, the sustained.
I mean, he's done it once, Oren. He was all NBA second team last year, and he was shooting a nearly 40% clip from 3.
For sure. Like the consistency has to come and the 3-point shooting has to come, but all the tools are definitely there with the playmaking for him to be that player.